Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm your host, Paul Jackson. Thank you for joining us downtown at Fairfield Federal as we begin today. And one of the subjects several times a year where it's a fun thing to talk about and the great work that they do here in Lancaster and Fairfield County is Meals on Wheels. And we talked to a couple different people over the year on that and the fun things that they have planned. They really seem to enjoy their job down there, and they do such great work at Meals on Wheels up on Cedar Hill Road. They have the relatively new office up there. They've expanded and they do such great work up there. But this is a very special time for them. It's a big anniversary coming up. We've got the folks here to talk about it. A couple ladies that can tell us all we need to know about Meals on Wheels. On my far right is Christa Moody. She's on the board of Meals on Wheels. Pleasure to have you here, Christa. We've got Linda McDonald with us. Linda is Director of Aging Services at Meals on Wheels.
Yes.
And welcome to you both. Thanks for being here. 50 years, that's pretty exciting.
It's wonderful. Very exciting for us.
It's going to be a fun year, and you just had a kickoff a while back?
Yeah, just a few weeks ago. We had the kickoff, and then we'll keep building up into our celebration in November. Will be our actual 50th year.
50th year with Meals on Wheels. So, Christa, you had the big kickoff thing a couple weeks ago. That was a big deal.
It was a big deal. We served a wonderful lunch to our seniors, and then we had a cake celebration and a few speeches. It was a wonderful day. It's very important to us that our seniors be part of this celebration because they're the reason we're here.
Sure.
And just a little note, Meals on Wheels to date has served 6,700,000 meals in our 50 years and counting.
And just getting started.
Yes, and we have planned these next 6 months some wonderful little events that we want to do.
Tell us about some of those. What we got coming up here?
I would love to. Thank you. We started back in January. We worked with a group from Fairfield Leadership and the Chamber of Commerce program, and they created a marketing piece for us. So it was very nice. Wonderful work.
That was one of the projects that they had?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, it was wonderful working with them, and they did gave us a lot of good ideas.
Sure.
A lot of good work there. Then we had our kickoff. Coming up, some of the things, Friday night bandstand coming up. We're going to be handing out fans to folks that are here. You'll see us at the 4th of July parade. For festival time, we're going to have a senior coloring contest, and we'll post those pictures at Meals on Wheels so you can come through and see the artwork that the seniors have done. We are also creating a film, a ride-along film. Temple Custer from Corral Communication is going to go out in the community, ride with some of our drivers, and talk to the folks and see
perfect
what
person
meals
for that.
Oh, absolutely. But we want to hear from the folks. What does Meals on Wheels mean to you?
Sure.
So we're really looking forward. That's going to be a really fun event.
And that's coming up pretty soon?
That will be in the summer.
Okay.
In the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah, we're spreading these things out,
Sure.
over the 6 months.
Got a year to do it.
Yes.
Right. There'll be lots of radio shows that Anna will be on, talking about the history of Meals on Wheels. There's a lot of folks in our community that don't know the history from way back when. So she'll be talking about that. We'll be at the county fair. And then, as Linda mentioned, in November, we'll have our gala. That's our actual anniversary date. November 14th is the anniversary date.
50. That'll be the 50th.
That's the 50th. Yes. And so we're really excited about that. But over the course of these next 6 months, as I say, we want to try to involve our seniors as much as possible. Want them to feel a part and feel the joy that we all feel at Meals on Wheels. And so proud to serve our community and the meals, but it's so much more.
Yeah,
so much more.
It's kind of deceptive. You're well known for that.
We
but
are.
Yes.
Deceptive. Sure.
Yes.
We've got Christa Moody with us, who's on the board at Meals on Wheels. Linda McDonald, who's Director of Aging Services with Meals on Wheels. Their 50th anniversary coming up. Got a big summer, a big fall stuff planned, and we're talking about some of that. Now, about aging services, that's your wheelhouse.
Yes.
How does this piece fit in with Meals on Wheels?
The aging services, we have over 20 other services in addition to our nutrition
And that's
side.
important to know that. As Christa said, much more than meals.
Yes, much more than, and the meals, we have over 1,000 that we take out every day that are delivered, and then we have congregate sites where seniors can come in and visit with one another and socialize, which we know that's so important for seniors. And then we have all the other aging services that we offer, supportive services to keep seniors in their homes for as long as they're safely possible for them to stay there.
And again, we can probably mention a few of them, but one of them I know is that you have the ability there for these little gizmos and machines for falling. And
Yes.
people, that's one of the things that you do. Again, one of
Yes.
the perhaps unknown things that's available.
Yes, we have mobile units
Yeah.
and in-home units.
Yeah.
So the mobile units are for those that are still out and about. They may go to church or take a walk or walk their pet, or so when they're going to the grocery store or something, that they have that in case they would fall. But it's also good for people at home when they're homebound and their mobility. They have a lot of issues with that they can push that button in case if they would hear somebody jiggling their door handle or anything like that. They can call and say, I'm scared somebody is out on my front porch, or if they would have a fire or anything. So in addition to the falling, it helps with a lot of other things.
You probably have
also.
instances each year where it really comes into play. Where this
Yes.
could have been much worse than whatever
Yes,
turns out.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's something with our meal drivers too, that they're like a safety check
Sure.
for people. So
Sure.
that's something too that they develop that bond with the seniors when they go out, and the seniors, that may be the only person they see all day.
Sure.
And so they come in and check on them, and we always make sure they come to the door. So there's the eyes on them to make sure they're okay, because some have fallen and they'll be on the kitchen floor or something, and the drivers will find them. So, and our drivers, we can't say enough for all the wonderful things that they do, and the volunteers of delivering meals. But they will stay there with that person till the medics get there, because yourself, it gets kind of scary sometimes to when something happens like that, and so they stay with them. And
Very good.
And,
We got Linda McDonald, Christa Moody with us on the Meals on Wheels, and Christa, we talked to generally, not that we don't have other folks on, but generally Anna Tobin, your executive director, is the one we have on. And one of the things, and I think you mentioned that, one of the things that kind of is in your wheelhouse there at Meals on Wheels, and with all the services that you talked about, you do some 20 other services other than meals, which is what you're well known for. But the whole point is to try to keep people in their home.
Yes. Keep them home. Let the seniors have still that sense of dignity.
Sure.
That they are fine. They can still be at home and live as normal life as what they want, is what they choose to live.
That's where they feel most comfortable, is in their own homes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen over time that folks seem to live a little longer if they're in their homes versus care facilities, because that's the area they know.
What's the and I spring this on you, your web address is
Oh.
Is it Fairfield County?
It's MOWFC.org.
MOWFC.org. They have a great website. It's very interactive. Lots of information. We're just touching on a few things here that's going on, but they can look at that. What's the phone number down there?
Yeah, it's 740-681-5050 or 5050.
Very good. So even if you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. So if you think you might need some services, or you're wondering if those services are available, I guess just call down there and
Sure, just
they'll
ask,
direct you.
Yeah, ask for the Aging Service Office, and we can answer questions or connect you with a care coordinator.
So for the next 6 months, it's party time at Meals on Wheels. You got a lot planned.
We do. We're so excited. We have worked a lot with crowd communications, and those gals are just
Small Business of the Year, we might say, recently named from the Chamber of Commerce.
Congratulations to them.
They are great,
They
Angela and her
are
staff. These are a
wonderful.
bunch of just hard-working, smart,
Yes.
and the services that they provide. They do so much.
Wonderful. And Paul, I'd also like to share, local artist Jason Annecy created this for Meals on Wheels.
Gay Fad over here.
Gay Fad.
Very close to your heart, I'm
Is
guessing.
Very, very close to my heart.
So that's very nice.
So he created that for us. We love the little heart. We love our seniors. So you'll be seeing a lot of this in the
I was gonna
community
say,
over
we're
the next
just
6
beginning to
months.
see it now. So
Yes,
for
yes,
the
you're gonna
next
see
6
a lot
months.
of this.
So your thing gets involved in this party time too?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we're looking forward to the whole thing, and the staff, everybody is just excited to think 50 years that we've been able to help seniors. It's
What's the
wonderful.
how old would you say, many years is your staff down there? What, somebody goes back 20 years? Is there anybody on there for that?
Yes, yeah. There's
Wow.
2 or 3 that have been there at least 20 years.
Nice.
Yeah, that they've
A lot
been
of
there
continuity.
a long time. Yes, yeah. It's great that we have, and all different ages, and then the volunteers too with all different ages. So it's wonderful.
Again, I just think it's one of the great organizations in town.
Thank
Got about a
you.
minute left. Anything else we need to pass along?
No, just always feel free to call us and be watching for Meals on Wheels and all of us.
You'll
with
be
the
seeing a
50.
lot of us.
Yes.
Got a big 6 months planned.
Big
50
6
years,
months.
Meals on Wheels. Shane put up that poster again. The boys at Gay Fad did that. Jason, was this Jason?
Jason created this
Jason
for us.
Hennessy created
Yes.
that, so it's just starting now, and you're going to hear a lot of it through the summer. As you can tell, there's going to be things going on, so big time. Thanks for joining
Yes.
us.
Oh, thank
Give
you.
Anna Tobin our best. You guys do
So-
great work down there. How many meals so far?
6,700,000.
And just started.
And just
started. Meals on Wheels, 50 years. We'll be talking to you throughout the summer and into the fall. Have a great time.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Sure.
Thank
Meals
you
on
so
Wheels. We'll be
much.
back in just a moment.
You walked down the aisle and promised happily ever after. Sometimes happily ever after means ending a relationship. We know the conversations are not easy. Deciding what's best for you, your children, and your next steps takes work and communication. At Dagger Law, we know there are no monsters in a divorce, only people trying to find their way. Local, trusted, experienced. Dagger Law.
The staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer early, when it's more curable. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
My name is Allie. I just became 14 years sober at the end of last month. Through the support of my family and friends, I got the courage to ask for help. And through treatment services and the recovery community, I was able to start my recovery journey. Now I get to work as a peer supporter and an addiction treatment navigator where I get to help the next sick and suffering. If you don't have family and friends that can support you right now, you can find those supports through treatment providers, the recovery community, and peer supporters like me. Every life matters, and your recovery is worth it.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hello friends, welcome back to Fairfield Today, and again, watch for Meals on Wheels this summer into the fall. Going to be a fun time by Anna Tobin, Christa, Moody, Linda McDonald, the folks here kind of representing on them. It's just going to be a fun time to celebrate 50 years with Meals on Wheels. We talk about some of the good programs here in Lancaster and Fairfield County, and one of them that we probably don't get to talk to them enough and have them back on is Connexion West. Over on the corner of 6th and Pierce.
Correct.
Would that be close?
That's correct.
6th and Pierce, what used to be, when I grew up over there, that was the old West School.
Yes.
There's been a couple iterations since then. This school wasn't there that you're in now, but West School where I attended over there, I'm very proud to be a part of that. But you've got a heck of an operation. This operated out of Victory Hill Church?
Yeah, so Victory Hill started us with a dream back whenever they started their backpack giveaway.
Yeah.
Be 16 years ago. And then
Come a long way.
Started us in 2017. We sat dormant for a couple years getting the building ready, and then we launched in 2019.
And well, the things you do, and to give you a lot of credit, you do a lot of stuff for the community, certainly the west side and the youth, but others on the west side too. We'll talk about that. But whatever you do it big. I'll say that. Whenever you're involved in it, whether it's a backpack giveaway, a starting school, just food giveaways, pantry things you do over there, shelters for people over there.
Yes.
It's always an immense job, and you guys just handle it well.
Well, I appreciate that. We definitely love our city, and we're the new kids on the block. We have some phenomenal organizations, but shame on us if we're not recognizing a need, trying to step in and fill that void.
And if I didn't mention it, Burbridge Cook is the executive director over there. Now, one thing I heard about, it's been a couple months since I heard about this program. I saw it at Lancaster Kiwanis Club, where you and another gentleman presented at, I think you call it a re-entry
Our re-entry
program.
That is correct.
Tell us about that. It sounds like something that we should be doing.
Yes. So I mentioned earlier about how if we're an organization that loves our city, we need to recognize, one, the problems that may be facing our city.
Sure.
Then develop a solution for that, and then implement that. And I think our team's done a fantastic job doing just that. And the fact that we have over 30% of individuals that are getting released from jail go right back into jail within 12 months.
Yeah, recidivism.
Yes, and that is just too much. So let's recognize the need, and let's try to develop something. And I think we've done that. We just want to make sure that if we have stronger families, career opportunities in place for individuals, and a strong community around them, then at that point we can help make our tomorrow better here. So.
Hey, you hear stories about, maybe it's on TV or dramas, or maybe it's real life things where people get involved, but you hear people, they serve their time for whatever reason they were in, they come back out, they should be at square one again, everything's even, all the checks and balances are even, but then maybe because they kind of perhaps run with the same people they ran with before, maybe they don't have a job because of maybe whatever their background is now, they can't get hired. There are things that work against people like that when people look at your history, and all these things work against people.
Absolutely. You mentioned about running with the same crowd. I'm a firm believer that we're the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with.
Oh.
So as an organization, we try to put ourselves in place to be that community. So if we can become that average of the 5 individuals around our neighbors, we can just love them unconditionally, I think we can change the atmosphere. And our process, with meeting with different individuals, we've recognized there's 4 key areas that we really need to focus on. The first one's unemployment whenever they're released. The same individuals that are going back into jail over and over again aren't able to find a job.
No money.
Yes. Yep. So at that point, you just mentioned it, whenever you don't have a job, you have debt. And then whenever you don't have a job and you have debt, it's hard to secure housing.
Could be a bad outcome.
Yes. And if you can't secure housing, then at that point, you're not going to have a functional family.
Yeah.
So we've decided we need to step in and cover those 4 areas. So we work with individuals before they're even released from jail. We go and we build community with them. We, through our peer-to-peer support groups, our mentoring programs, instilling values into individuals so they have a strong foundation for the values required to make sure that they have career readiness in place. Then whenever they're released, they already know of an organization that loves them, that's there for them. They can come in, and at that point, really just start to develop some more skill sets, life skills, financial literacy. And then because we've built a strong network, we're able to put these individuals in place for a career. We have some phenomenal companies, thanks to our local government, that have come into here, and all of them are willing to step up and say, hey, let's give these guys a shot. And going through, instilling those values first, and then developing the skills for them, putting them in place for a job. And then the final piece for that is, hey, just making sure that they have secure housing. So right now we have 8 individuals that we're housing through our programming. We just launched this back in January, so we think that's a phenomenal number. And then whenever they have the secure housing in place, we've partnered with some other community agencies, such as Family Adult Children's First Council, their parent project. And nothing excites me more than on a Tuesday morning walking through the facility and seeing grown men taking notes, wanting to make sure whenever they're reunited with their family that they can share love with their children the proper way, take care of their significant other the way that they deserve to be taken care of. And I think we can all attest to the fact if we have stronger families, we have a stronger community.
Well, it's an amazing program, and help me with the name of the fellow that you introduced him when I saw the program.
Yeah, Jesse Ackerman is our reentry coordinator.
To me, in my world,
yeah,
he is somebody that gets it.
Yes.
He understands, and because he's been through some of this.
Yes, Jesse's been through this, so Jesse's the perfect example of this. He went through CTC here locally. He's originally from the Dayton-Springfield area. Ended up over at CTC whenever he was transitioning out, and he's like, hey, these are the only programs that work. Like, I would be right back in this system if it wasn't for programs like this. So he has a passion for this, and he leads the program phenomenally, and the fact that, hey, peer-to-peer support group, just letting people know that, hey, we've walked this. If you walk this path, we're going to be able to succeed.
And actually, we were supposed to have him on. He was going to be on with us today,
yes,
but he's actually got training.
Yes, he's in training today,
Sure.
So I told him, hey, make sure you keep that up and continue on.
Well, he's a wonderful emissary.
Yes.
If anybody has an organization or somebody that they'd like to have speak and they think this would be a good subject, you got Burb here and Jesse would be a couple good people to have on. They know what's going on.
Absolutely.
So this is for somebody that could be an individual or somebody that has family too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure that the bottom line for Connexion West is we just want stronger families.
Yeah.
If that's an immediate need here in our community, such as our backpack giveaway or a trick-or-treat event where we just share love with the community, whatever it is, we just want to make sure that we have stronger families here in our city.
Now, if somebody that's viewing this would perhaps know if somebody may be there in a struggling position right now because some of the things that you talk about is occurring with them, how do they get connected to you?
The easiest way is to show up at our facility. One of our receptionists will get you in touch with
Just
our
show
office.
up.
Just show up.
Great.
That's what we're
Great.
here for. The other is you can just call our office at 740-201-2778.
Burbridge Cook is the executive director of Connexion West, which is kind of an umbrella organization. They do tons of different things, and the one we're talking about, at least initially here, is this reentry program. 8 people, strong
Yes.
start.
Yes, absolutely. Jobs in place. They've graduated our curriculum.
And you've helped them get jobs. You've helped them
Absolutely.
kind of every step of this way.
Connexion West is designed to complete full wraparound services
Wow.
for the entire individual.
Wow.
Because if we're not changing the atmosphere and we're not there for every aspect of it, I think this is all for naught, and it's
Yeah.
going to fall apart on us.
Well, and I guess that's what you want to see. You'd like to see, now how long are they in this program?
So depending on the individual's requirements and what their needs are,
Yeah.
it varies. Minimum is 35. We have some individuals that will go through for 6 months. We have a couple right now that they may be in it for a couple years. Whatever our services they need, get them in place. And whenever I'm talking services, if it's the food pantry through Victory Center Food Pantry inside of our building, or if it's our mentoring academy, or if it's just the housing assistance, whatever it may be, we have that complete wraparound services for them.
So you just haven't been there long enough to really have many success stories at this point because everybody's still involved.
Yes, we launched in January, and to see 8 already graduate the original curriculum inside of housing on the west side right now has been phenomenal for us.
So this is kind of some school kind of stuff going on too. That's part of what you got to be want to get involved. You have to want to succeed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Attitude's a big part of this.
100%. If we don't have a good attitude, then it's going to fall apart on us. So that's why we're working closely with the county jail and CTC, picking out individuals that, hey, need our assistance, want our assistance, but have already shown a work ethic to where they want to better themselves.
So what else is going on in Connexion West?
Our mentoring academy has done phenomenal, so that's focused on students that are in junior high. We had 45 students recently complete this recent round.
In Fairfield County?
This is all Fairfield County students. And that's 72 volunteers just providing mentorship and creating community for these individuals, laying the foundation for values that I think are going to really make our community stronger, such as honesty, hard work, what it means to have integrity.
And this, would you say junior high kids?
Junior high, it goes all the way through high school,
Okay.
but our focus is junior high with these students.
Get them kind of young and
Absolutely.
kind of awaken them a little bit.
Absolutely. You knew I grew up down in Logan,
Yes.
and I think a good example would probably be whenever I was a child. We had 2 Goodyear manufacturing facilities. We had
Right.
Smedes.
Oh,
and
huge manufacturing community. Carborundum at one
Yes.
time.
And everything sort of fell apart. And just looking at history, I think a lot of that was the fact that we didn't do a good job as a community instilling values into our youth.
Mm-hmm.
And our local government's doing a phenomenal job bringing vocational opportunities to our city right now. I mean, we have Google coming to town.
Yeah.
But what are we doing as a community to instill the values into our youth?
And Rick Sabrek's got that wonderful place out there. Things, workforce, work life.
Workforce Development Center.
Workforce Development Center. We'll have to get him back on too, talk about. But again, this is a kind of, it's taken a village aspect. I mean, you work with tons of other people to kind of make this holistic system work.
Yes. We strongly believe in collaboration. It's one of our core values. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. Like, we're the new kids on the block. We're just here to try to help our city.
And again, I'll say that if Connexion West is involved in it in some capacity, you do it right and it gets done. So if you see something that these folks are involved with, I'd take to heart that this would be an organization or a program maybe you should check out. So it's a re-entry program. They can just show up if there's somebody that's having trouble, kind of however their past has been, to get to this point.
Yes,
move
100%.
forward.
We just want to love individuals unconditionally, so that's what we're here for. Be present and be
Phone
consistent.
number at the office again is?
740-201-2778.
And the website is connectionwest.org.
And we spell connection with an X.
With an X. You see it on a lot of vehicles going around. I see that. So
Yeah.
you guys do great work over there. I think of all the schools that have turned around into becoming different facilities, West School can be proud of what they do, and that's the perfect place as far as I'm concerned. You're where you're needed.
Yes.
Right there on that block. That's the good thing.
Well, I appreciate
Thanks
it
for
very
all
much.
Connexion West does.
Thanks.
Burbridge Cook, who is the executive director at Connexion West. Again, check out their program. We mentioned Google. Type it into your Google search engine. You can find it. Thanks,
Yep,
Herb.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.